Welcome to Fragile Bonds, to the powerful stories of family, love, loss, and the choices that shape our lives. Now let's begin today's story.
The evening light streamed through the kitchen window, turning the flower-filled air golden. I just finished prep for tomorrow morning and glanced at the clock as I untied my apron. Mark would be home soon. 3 years running our small bakery, and the locals were finally starting to recognize our faces. Mark worked for a security company, always coming home looking a bit worn out, but the smell of fresh baked bread never failed to bring a smile to his face. The doorbell rang. Earlier than expected. I opened the door to find my sister Kate standing there with a small backpack. Next to her, my 8-year-old niece Lily looked up at me shyly. "Emily, I'm so sorry to spring this on you," Kate's voice was strained. "I got called in for a night shift. Could you possibly keep her until morning?" "Of course," I said, gently stroking Lily's hair. "Lily, it's been too long. You've gotten so big." Lily smiled bashfully. Kate let out a relieved breath and pulled her daughter close. "You're a lifesaver. I'll pick her up at 7 tomorrow morning. Don't rush. I'm making pancakes in the morning." "Lily, how about lots of maple syrup?" Lily's eyes lit up. Kate thanked me repeatedly before leaving. I watched her taillights disappear, then took Lily's hand and headed to the kitchen. I made simple pasta for dinner. Mark got home just as the pot started boiling. He looked surprised to see Lily but quickly smiled warmly. "Hey there, Lily. Spending the night?" Lily nodded slightly. The three of us sat around the table. Mark talked a bit about work and asked Lily about school. She seemed nervous at first but gradually opened up, telling us about her friends and her favorite books. After dinner, we decided to watch a movie in the living room. Lily chose an animated film about animals on an adventure. The three of us sat on the couch sharing popcorn, watching the screen. It was peaceful. We didn't have children yet. We talked about it, someday, but it didn't feel like the right time. So nights like this, watching my niece, gave me a strange feeling, like catching a glimpse of what our future family might look like. Partway through the movie, I glanced at Mark and saw him staring intently at Lily. His expression was thoughtful, distant. "What's wrong?" I whispered. Mark looked at me with a start. "Nothing," he said with a laugh, but there was something slightly off about that smile. I didn't think much of it though. "He's just tired," I thought. When the movie ended, Lily rubbed her eyes sleepily. "All right, time to get ready for bed." I took Lily upstairs to the guest room. She brushed her teeth, changed into her pajamas, and got into bed. As I tucked the blanket around her, she asked in a small voice. "In my dreams, I'm always in a house I don't know. And Mommy's not there." I hesitated for a moment, then smiled gently. "Dreams are strange things. But don't worry, your mom will be here to pick you up tomorrow morning." Lily nodded, reassured, and closed her eyes. I quietly left the room and went back downstairs. In the living room, Mark had the TV on. The late news was playing. The volume was low, barely audible. I watched his back while preparing tomorrow's breakfast in the kitchen. Mark stared at the screen and frowned. It was just for a moment, but his body seemed to stiffen. "Mark?" "Oh, it's nothing." He changed the channel with the remote. "Let's go to bed." We turned off the lights and headed upstairs. The sweet smell of the bakery still lingered in the house. Outside, the streetlights dimly illuminated the road. It was a quiet night. Except something felt just slightly different than usual. But I couldn't figure out what it was. As I got into bed, I kept thinking about Lily's words. Dreams about an unfamiliar house. Dreams where mommy isn't there. Children's dreams are always strange things. That's what I told myself as I closed my eyes. I turned over in bed. The clock showed past 1 in the morning. I'd woken up thirsty. Next to me, I could hear Mark's steady breathing. I slipped quietly out of bed and into the hallway. When I came downstairs, the living room lights were on. The TV's glow cast a pale blue light on the walls. It was Mark. He was sitting on the couch, staring at the screen. Still up? Mark turned around. Yeah, I woke up. I headed to the kitchen and got water from the fridge. As I poured it into a glass, I glanced toward the living room. You really like the news. Is it from work? Sort of. Working security, you can't help but stay aware of what's happening in the area. Mark answered evenly, but there was an odd tension in his voice. Glass in hand, I perched on the arm of the couch. The screen showed a late-night news program. Traffic accident report, congressional debate, weather forecast. Nothing unusual. Just then, a dog barked outside. In the distance, one dog, then another, started barking one after another. As if reacting to something. Maybe it's the wind, I said, looking toward the window. Through a gap in the curtains, I could see the porch light flickering. Mark stood up and approached the window. He opened the curtains slightly and stared outside. I could see the tension in his back. What is it? Someone's car is parked out there. I moved closer to the window. Sure enough, across the street, right under a streetlight, an unfamiliar car was parked. A dark sedan. The engine didn't seem to be running, but I couldn't tell if anyone was inside. Maybe it's a neighbor. That car wasn't there before. Mark's voice dropped. An hour ago when I turned on the TV, there was nothing there. I felt a flutter of unease. But in this quiet suburban neighborhood, it was hard to imagine anything bad happening in the middle of the night. Probably someone staying late at a friend's house, about to head home. You're overthinking it. Let's go to sleep. But Mark wouldn't take his eyes off the window. The dogs were still barking. And then it happened. From upstairs, I heard small footsteps. I turned around to see Lily coming down the stairs. Half asleep, dragging the hem of her pajamas. Lily, what's wrong? I hurried over to her. I thought I heard Mommy calling me. Lily looked up at me with sleepy eyes. I heard Mommy's voice. I pulled Lily close. You were dreaming. Your mom is at work right now. She promised to pick you up tomorrow morning, remember? Lily nodded slightly but still looked anxious. I took her hand and was about to lead her into the living room. That's when it happened. Outside, a car door slammed shut. Mark froze. I stopped. Lily squeezed my hand tightly. Outside the window, under the streetlight, figures emerged from the parked car. One person, no, two. It was too dark to see clearly. For a moment, it seemed like a flashlight beam pointed our way. Mark, my voice trembled. Mark quickly moved away from the window and came toward us. His face showed a tension I'd never seen before. Emily, take Lily upstairs. Right now. What are you talking about? What's happening? Just do it, now. But I couldn't move. I could see the figures outside walking toward our house. Slowly but surely. The flashlight beam crossed the yard. Mark grabbed my shoulders. Emily, listen to me. Whatever I say, I need you to trust me right now. Take Lily and go to the shed. The shed? Why? There's no time to explain. His eyes locked onto mine. Serious eyes, frightened eyes. Please, Emily. Trust me. I was confused. I didn't understand what was happening. But I'd never seen my husband's face like this before. 5 years of marriage, and he'd never shown such urgent desperation. The footsteps outside grew closer. The sound of feet on grass. The sound of someone climbing the porch steps. And then, the front doorknob slowly turned. A small metallic click. My heart pounded wildly. Lily was about to scream, and I covered her mouth with my hand. Now. Go out the back door, Mark whispered. But. Just go. The front door opened slightly. Through the gap, flashlight beams poured in. Mark pushed us toward the kitchen. He opened the back door. Cold night air rushed in. Outside was pitch black, barely any moonlight. Run, Emily. Run to the shed. But Lily's barefoot. I protested. Lily's small feet were still in pajamas. There was no time to put shoes on her. Mark picked Lily up. I'll carry her. You run ahead. From the front entrance, I heard multiple footsteps. Someone was coming into the house. Hurry. I burst out the back door. Damp grass clung to my feet. The ground wet with dew was cold. Behind me, I heard Mark calling my name. I looked back to see him running with Lily in his arms. The shed was at the back of the yard, surrounded by trees. An old tool storage building we hardly ever used. I ran desperately. Out of breath. My heart felt like it would burst. I grabbed the shed door. The rusty hinges creaked as the door opened. Inside was pitch black, smelling of dirt and mildew. Mark rushed in. He set Lily down and closed the door. Don't make a sound, he whispered. We held our breath in the darkness. I held Lily close to stop her from crying out. Outside, flashlight beams began sweeping the yard. And then, a woman's voice called out. Lily, are you there? Please, come out. I froze. Someone was calling my niece's name. But it wasn't Kate's voice. I pressed my back against the wall, still holding Lily. Mark was peering through a crack in the windowless door, watching outside. My feet hurt, Lily murmured quietly. I looked down at her feet. I couldn't see well in the darkness, but she'd run here barefoot. They must be scratched by stones and branches. Just a little longer. Please, I stroked her head. I could hear my voice shaking. Outside, the flashlight beams moved around. The shadows of the yard's trees stretched and shrank in the light. And then, the voice came again. Lily, where are you? Don't be afraid. It's Mommy. The voice was gentle and desperately sad. But it wasn't Kate. Who was this? I was confused. Why was a strange woman calling my niece's name? Why were we hiding in the shed? Mark turned around. Even in the darkness, I could see his tense expression. Emily, whatever happens, don't make a sound. Don't move from here until I come back. Wait, where are you going? To check on the house. That's dangerous. I grabbed his arm. We don't even know who those people are. That's exactly why I need to find out. Mark gently removed my hand. If someone broke into the house, we need to call the police. But if... He cut himself off. He didn't say what came after, if. The door opened slightly, and Mark was about to go outside. Just then, new headlights swept across the yard. Another car had arrived. Mark stopped moving. The engine shut off, a door opened. And then, a man's voice. Police. You there, please identify yourself. Police. My heart pounded. Please, I'm looking for my daughter, the woman's voice answered. Closer now. She was crying. I've been searching for 8 years. I heard my daughter was in this house. 8 years? I gasped. What was she talking about? Lily was Kate's daughter. Please calm down, the police officer's voice was steady. Let's sort out the situation first. Who gave you permission to come here? Permission? The woman's voice rose. She's my daughter. The DNA test results are in. The child in this house is my daughter who was kidnapped 8 years ago. My mind went blank. Kidnapped? That couldn't be. Lily was Kate's daughter. I remembered when my sister got pregnant, when Lily was born. No, wait. Did I really remember? I tried to recall. 8 years ago, Kate did say she was pregnant. But I didn't see much of her during the pregnancy. She said her morning sickness was terrible, and we didn't meet for a while. Then a few months later, she appeared with a baby. Auntie, I'm scared, Lily trembled as she spoke. I held her tight. I couldn't believe this child was kidnapped. But if it were true? If Kate had? No, I didn't want to think about it. Doubting my own sister. Mark was watching outside through the crack in the door. Another patrol car just arrived, he whispered. No sirens. The conversation outside continued. We need to check inside the house, another officer's voice said. Is anyone inside? There was a moment of silence. Then the sound of the house door opening. Footsteps going in. I stroked Lily's hair and closed my eyes as if praying. This is a bad dream. In the morning, everything will be back to normal. Kate will come to pick her up and we'll laugh together over pancakes. But deep down, I felt something crumbling. A police officer came out of the house. There's no one inside. The beds look slept in though. The back door is open, another officer said. Looks like someone left in a hurry. I heard the woman's voice breaking down in tears. Please, give me back my daughter. I haven't seen her in 8 years. When she was just 1 year old, she disappeared from the park. I've been searching ever since. Every day, every single day. My chest tightened. A daughter who disappeared at age 1. A mother who'd been searching for 8 years. I looked down at Lily. In the darkness, her eyes looked up at me. Who was this child really? Ma'am, please wait here. We'll search, the officer said. If your daughter really was in this house, she can't have gone far. The flashlight beam started moving again. This time multiple lights swept across various parts of the yard. Between the trees, beyond the hedges, and then toward the shed. Mark looked at me. His eyes were saying something. We can't hide anymore. Mark, what should we do? I whispered. He took a deep breath. Emily, I've thought something was off for a while now. What do you mean? About Kate. Whenever she brought Lily over, she was always in a hurry. Always at night. And tonight, I saw something on the news. A follow-up on that 8-year-old kidnapping case. They said they found a possible match in a DNA database. I was speechless. When I saw the photo, I thought it looked like Lily. But I wasn't sure. So. Footsteps approached. Flashlight beams illuminated the shed door. We're checking in here, the officer's voice. This is it, I thought. But what was ending? The revelation of the truth. Mark slowly opened the door. Blinding light poured in. I squinted and held Lily tighter. Police. Please come out. We stepped out of the shed. In the yard were 4 police officers and 1 woman. The woman looked to be in her mid-30s, her hair disheveled, her face wet with tears. She looked at us. No, at Lily. And then she collapsed to her knees. Amy, she cried out. My Amy. Lily clung to me. Auntie, I'm scared. Who is that lady? I couldn't answer. I just looked into the woman's eyes. In those eyes were 8 years of despair, hope, and love. And I understood. This woman might be this child's real mother. Every light in the house was on. As if on a stage, everything was about to be exposed. A police officer approached. Can you tell me your name? Emily Thompson, my voice was shaking. This is my niece. Niece? The officer frowned. My sister's daughter. Kate Miller's. The officers exchanged glances. One pulled out a tablet and checked something. Kate Miller, he repeated. Where is she now? Night shift. She's a nurse. But even as I said those words, I felt uncertain. The light of dawn began illuminating the yard. The patrol car lights were still rotating, blue and red reflections dancing on the house walls. I was made to sit on the living room couch. Lily sat next to me, wrapped in a blanket, shivering. Mark sat in the chair across from us, answering the police officer's questions. The woman named Anna Collins stood near the entrance, accompanied by another officer. She kept looking our way. No, toward Lily. Her eyes were filled with tears, but at the same time, with an irrepressible light of hope. Let me confirm again, a young officer asked me. This child is definitely your sister Kate Miller's daughter. Yes, I answered. But that, yes, had no certainty. My sister gave birth to Lily 8 years ago and has been raising her alone ever since. Have you seen the birth certificate? I hesitated. No, but... Hospital records. Do you remember the name of the hospital where your sister gave birth? I tried to search my memory. But nothing came. Kate had said she gave birth at a small hospital. But I'd never heard a specific name. I don't know, I answered quietly. The officer wrote something in his notebook. Mark spoke up. Tonight, I saw a follow-up report on the news about an 8-year-old kidnapping case. A report about a possible match found in a DNA database. There was a photo shown, and he looked at Lily. I thought it looked like this child. And then... So I was on alert, just in case. If anyone came, I had to protect my family. An older officer interjected. Mr. Thompson, you made the right decision. But what we need now is to uncover the truth. Just then, the front door opened. Kate. My sister stood there, pale. She was wearing nurse's scrubs. But the uniform looked oddly clean, not a wrinkle. Had she really been working the night shift? The doubt crept into my mind. Kate, I tried to stand up, but the officer stopped me. Kate looked around the room. The patrol cars, the officers, and then the woman. Anna Collins. The moment their eyes met, the color drained from Kate's face. You, Anna shouted. You took my daughter. No, Kate shouted back. No, I. Ms. Miller, the older officer approached. Please calm down. We have some questions. I didn't do anything, Kate's voice trembled. Lily is my daughter. I gave birth to her 8 years ago. Then can you show us the birth certificate? Kate fell silent. Hospital records will do. Please tell us where you gave birth. Kate's eyes darted around. Due to personal circumstances, the formal procedures. Ms. Miller, the officer's voice became stern. 8 years ago, a 1-year-old girl disappeared from a park in this area. Amy Collins. And now, through DNA database matching, we found that there's a very high probability this child is Amy Collins. I gasped. Lily, no, Amy. You'll need to undergo DNA testing, the officer continued. If this child is your biological daughter, you should have nothing to worry about. Kate collapsed to the floor. She covered her face with both hands and began to cry. Her voice rasped. I just wanted to be a mother. Those words froze everything. 8 years ago, I had a miscarriage, Kate continued through her tears. 6 months along. I thought I'd get to meet my baby soon. And right after that, someone contacted me. Asked if I wanted a baby. Anna let out a small scream. I knew it wasn't right. But I felt so empty. Everything felt empty. So, Kate looked up. I just wanted to be a mother. I loved Lily, raised her carefully. That much is true. You stole my daughter, Anna's voice shook. Because you wanted to be a mother, you took my daughter from me. Do you understand how much I suffered for 8 years? Every day, every night, I searched for her, crying, wondering where she was, if she was alive. Kate couldn't answer. The officer handcuffed Kate. Kate Miller, you're under arrest on suspicion of aiding and abetting kidnapping. Wait, I cried out. My sister, she just. But I didn't know what to say. I wanted to protect my sister. But thinking of Anna's 8 years of suffering, the words wouldn't come. Lily, no, Amy, started crying. Mommy, where's Mommy going? Kate turned around as she was being led away. Lily, I'm sorry. Auntie truly loved you. Please believe that. And then she was taken away by the police officers. A heavy silence filled the room. Anna slowly approached. She reached out a trembling hand and touched Amy's head. Amy, she whispered. My Amy. Amy looked up at her with a confused face. Who are you? Those words tore through Anna's heart, I could see it. Her daughter didn't remember her. Taken at age 1, she'd spent 8 years growing up thinking someone else was her mother. Anna's voice caught. I'm your real mommy. I've been looking for you all this time, all this time. Amy clung to me. I didn't know what to do. I knew that holding this child would hurt Anna more. But I couldn't push away a frightened child either. A few days later, the DNA test results came back. Amy Collins. The daughter of Anna Collins who disappeared from the park 8 years ago. No doubt about it. The police investigation revealed an illegal adoption network that Kate had been involved with. An organization that trafficked stolen children or children bought from impoverished families to women suffering from miscarriage or infertility. Kate was one of their customers. I was in shock, unable to think. My sister involved in something like this. But at the same time, I understood her loneliness. Her desperate desire to have a child. Mark silently supported me. It's not your fault, he said repeatedly. You didn't know. And that night, you did the right thing. One morning, Anna came to visit. With Amy. I wanted to thank you, Anna said with tears in her eyes. You protected my daughter that night. If you hadn't hidden, if you hadn't called the police, I might have lost track of my daughter again. Mark answered quietly, I was just protecting my family. That's what I had to do as a father, as a husband. Those words warmed my heart. That night, Mark had understood what was happening. But regardless of what the truth was, he chose to protect his family first. That was his integrity. Amy looked at me and smiled slightly. I could tell she was still confused, but she seemed to be gradually opening her heart to Anna. "Auntie, can I visit again?" Amy asked. I nodded, holding back tears. "Anytime." After they left, Mark held me. I cried against his chest. 3 months after the incident, the bakery doorbell rang and Anna and Amy walked in. Amy was wearing new clothes, her hair neatly tied. But what had changed most was her expression. Gone was the anxious shadow from before, replaced by a bright smile. "Hello, Emily," Anna smiled. "Welcome. These just came out of the oven." I took out a croissant from the display case. Amy's eyes lit up. "I like these." "You remembered," I was pleased. The two sat at a table, and I brought coffee and milk. Anna looked a bit tired but happy. "How's the counseling going?" I asked. "Good. Amy is gradually accepting me." "It takes time, but," Anna stroked Amy's head. "Just being together makes me happy." Amy said through a mouthful of croissant, "Mommy's not good at cooking." Anna smiled wryly. "It's true. That's why Amy gets so excited when we come here." I laughed. I thought of Kate, and my chest ached a little. My sister was now in prison. I hadn't visited her. I still didn't know what to say to her. But I kept a letter tucked away in a drawer. A short letter that just said, "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused you." Amy said quietly, "Auntie, when I smell the bread, it feels like a place to come home to." Those words brought tears to my eyes. "You can always come home here," I held her hand. "This is one of your homes." Anna was tearing up too. "Thank you, Emily. Without you and Mark, I wouldn't have found my daughter. Mark made the right decision. I just trusted him." After they left, I gazed out the window. Dusk was approaching, the sky turning orange. Mark came home from work. He placed his hand on my shoulder. "Anna and Amy were here." "Yes. Amy looked so well." "That's good." Mark pulled me close. We stood together and turned off the bakery lights. A quiet evening. Since that terrifying night, we'd learned so much. Family isn't just about blood ties. It's about the desire to protect, the heart that wants to be together, and above all, the ability to hold hands during difficult times. Kate tried to become a mother the wrong way. But in a sense, her love was also real. Anna and Amy were trying to reclaim those lost 8 years. Amy had 2 homes now. One was the home with her real mother. And the other was this small bakery that smelled of bread. That night, what we protected wasn't a house. It was the very shape of family. Family isn't about blood. It's about the people you'd run into the night to protect. And the place you want to come home to. Mark took my hand. "Let's go home." I nodded. And together we started walking down the road at dusk. Tomorrow, I'd bake warm bread again in this small bakery. To continue being someone's place to come home to.